Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Cross Country Adventurers podcast. We're starting this thing out. We've seen a lot of podcasts. We think we're a lot of fun, so we're gonna throw this thing out there and see what you guys think. If nothing else comes from it, we're all getting older. It'll be fun to listen back and regale the adventures we've had with our friends. So for this iteration, we're going to be doing Curse of the Crimson Thrones, which is made by Pazio. The majority of the material we're running is all owned by them. We're going to run it pretty close to the book, I think. The characters, of course, always can change that as we go, but I would like to run it fairly close to written material. In this game, we're going to have some house rules. So I have always gone with the rule of cool as a DM. So a lot of times, even if something's not quite right, but it makes it really awesome in the story, I'm going to let them do it. We're also using critical hits and misses. So we are going to confirm, say if you're using a scimitar or something that hits on an 18 or 19, you have to confirm anything that's not a 20, but a critical hit on a 20 is always a critical hit. We're going to roll that extra damage. A critical miss is always at least a miss. I give my players a 25% chance. They roll some crit or some fumble dice on a D100. 25% or less, it is just a miss. Trying to give my players the benefit of the doubt. Anything more than that, the worse the dice result is, the worse thing happens to them. So for instance, a 33, they might bang their elbow on the enemy's armor and take a negative for a turn or something. Nothing too crazy. On a 99, they might critically hit their companion, who gets a reflex save because if he fails it, he takes the blade through the eye and is permanently blinded. Things like that. It can get bad quickly. I also don't use the flat-footed rules the way that Pathfinder wrote them. I don't like them. So I only give people the flat-footed condition at the start of a battle if it's started with a surprise round. I look at it as if you're in a combat situation and both sides are looking for each other anyway, they're already ready. They wouldn't be like, oh my god. But if say we got a rogue in the party, they step into the shadows and slit somebody's throat, I give everybody flat-footed, minus that rogue, of course, until it's that person's surprise round because they would have been surprised. And the intimidate checks. I don't let characters just roll an intimidate check, or they can. I mean, just try, but nothing is probably going to happen if an unknown person is like, "Rawr, throw down your weapons." The enemy's probably going to laugh at you. Now, if later in the campaign, as the characters gain resolve, if the enemies have heard of them, that might work. Also, if Thrug the Barbarian walks into the room and beheads the first guy and yells at everybody else to throw down their weapons, I would allow him an intimidate check to see how that works. I think that's pretty much all I've got for house rules. If you'd like to email us with constructive criticism or to say that you like the show, we're at crosscountryadventures@gmail.com. Oh, the reason we picked that name is because, well, two reasons really. One, a lot of the really cool names have been picked. And two, we're playing on fantasy grounds. So we're all spread out. We've got players down in Florida, players, in Michigan, some of us are in Alaska. So we're all spread out across the U.S. So we figured that kind of encompassed who we are. On this adventure here, we've got Trish, Dave, Aragon, and Carrie. Go ahead and introduce yourselves, guys.
I'm Dave. I'll be playing Steve for the duration of this campaign.
Unless I kill.
I'm hoping to enjoy a lot more intrigue and roleplay this time. Hope to see where it goes. I'm going to pass it on to Aragon.
I'm Aragon. I'm going to be playing Kalen Varn. Also, I live in Florida, from Alaska originally, with some of these other guys up there. Kalen Varn is a humble clerk that works at a seaport, but he has a twisted past that you'll find out about later, and some fun surprises in store for you. And you'll find out as well as the players as we progress the story. But I'm excited about this, the intrigue, the plot, the betrayal, and just looking to have a good time during this quest with my friends, as always. And I'll pass it on to Carrie.
Hi, I'm Carrie, and I will be playing Drossel. I'm also originally from Alaska, but I live in North Carolina. I've known everybody pretty much for about 20 plus years. So at any rate, I'm excited to play my character and see how this plays out with everybody on this new quest. And from here, I'll give it over to Trish.
Hi, I'm Trish. I'm going to be playing the character of Magnolia. She is a cleric of Erastil. I live here in Alaska, and I'm really excited to play this campaign.
All right, I forgot to introduce myself when I started babbling. I'm Tim. Carrie, I think it's been closer to 30 years we've all known each other, bud. Yeah, so Carrie actually started playing D&D in 1st edition. Aragon and myself started in 2nd edition. I think Trish learned Pathfinder. This is her 1st edition, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Dave started in 2nd edition as well. But he played a lot of Pathfinder. Dave's my kid, so he's been playing in some form or fashion since he was 4 or 5 years old.
And I'm Carrie's kid, if you really want to, get into families.
Right.
Yep. So, yeah, we're going to be playing this in Pathfinder 1st edition, if I didn't mention that. So we start in the city of Korvosa. All of our heroes or ne'er-do-wells, depending on what they choose to be here, have received a note. It's tucked amongst their personal gear, and it says, "I know what Gadrin has done to you. He has wronged me as well. I know where he dwells, yet cannot strike at him. Come to my home at 3 Lancet Street at sunset. Others like you will be there. Gadrin must face his fate, and justice must be done." So it takes a lot of the characters several hours asking around town to find where this place is. Korvosa is a huge place, and Steve is actually the first one to find his way to this house. Steve, you enter this house. It's a pretty normal dwelling. Let's send this to you real quick. The interior of this humble home consists of a single cozy chamber filled with a fragrant haze of flowers and strong spice. The aroma comes from several sticks of incense smoldering in the wall-mounted burners that look like butterfly-winged elves. The smoke gives the room a dreamy feel. The walls are draped with brocaded tapestries, one showing a black-skulled beast jangling human hearts, and another showing a pair of angels dancing atop a snow-blasted mountain. A third tapestry on the far wall depicts a tall and hooded figure, shrouded in mist, holding a flaming sword in a skeletal hand. Several brightly colored rugs cover the floor, but the room's only furnishings are a wooden table covered by a bright red throw-cloth and several elegant, tall-backed chairs. A basket covered by blue cloth sits under the table. Steve, as you get close to the table, you see there's a note on top, and it says, "Thank you for coming. I had to step out for a bit, but shall return shortly. Please have a seat while you wait. The basket under the table contains bread and drink for you." What are you doing, Steve?
As I'm walking in, I kind of look around, and I'm confused on how someone that seems to have good access to knowledge of us and apparently my gear has, mysteriously stepped out the instant it seems that we showed up. I'm gonna kind of pick a seat that I can find with my back facing the wall so I can have a good eye of the room.
Okay, so you take one of the seats nearest the wall. So imagine now this is our audience's first chance to see you. What does your character look like? And revisit your past memories. What has Gadrin Lamb done to your character to convince them to come to this thing?
So my character seems to be older for what his age might actually be. He seems to have maybe let himself go a little bit in recent times. He's a relatively tall and lithe man. I will primarily be an archer. I'm here because I cannot remember his name.
Gadrin Lamb.
Because Gadrin Lamb has killed my fiancée and pawned her ring. I'm here to get my vengeance and gather up enough gold from his coffers to purchase it back.
And just as you're concluding this thought, Kalen Varn enters the room. What does he see when you enter, Kalen? And then please revisit your memory where Gadrin has wronged you as well.
You see a young man, pale-skinned like many Korvosians, with neatly kept black hair and bright blue eyes. The glance at more than you. He's dressed like a modest clerk. Clean boots, charcoal gray tunic, and a deep red scarf tucked neatly into his collar. There's nothing about him that screams danger. No weapons, no armor, no scars. Just a polite posture. He looks at you and he says, you must have gotten the note as well.
I have. It seems strange where they showed up. Happened for you too.
Well, it seems that Gadron's made many enemies.
Just glad someone's finally trying to bring him to justice.
My name's Kayleen Varn. Nice to meet you. What's your name?
I am Steve. I have a good eye for the battlefield if you give me a moment to look at it.
Battle, that's not for me. But Kayleen Varn, Gadron has what's coming to him. You see Kayleen be quiet for a moment, thinking back to past, remembering what Gadron did to him and his family. He framed his father for a murder, and he was hung by the hangman's noose, and he'll have his vengeance.
All right, while you're contemplating this, while you guys are sitting there, are you eating the bread and drinking the wine, or no? Steve is shaking his head no.
No, I don't trust what's been laid out. I find it highly suspicious.
Okay.
Kayleen looks around the room, see what might be hidden in the bread.
All right, the bread looks like bread to you.
I'm not hungry.
What about the wine? It seems like there's a good bottle of wine that goes with the bread. And as you're considering it, Drossel walks into the room. Please explain what you look like and how Gadron has wronged you, Drossel.
You notice a cloaked figure with his hood up, and you can barely make out his features of his face. But what you can see in the darkness is a blackish gray skin, and you see these luminescent green eyes. You feel as though you're being sized up and studied, and you're just not sure what this person is thinking. I sit there and I look around and kind of see who's sitting where, and I tell him, "Hello, I'm Drossel."
Nice to meet you, Drossel. I'm Kayleen Varn. And this one here is Steve. Kayleen Varn reaches out his hand to shake it.
I reach mine out, and you notice the blackish gray skin still. But after giving the pleasantries and the handshakes, I go over, I see the wine on the table, and I pour myself a glass, and I go sit in a chair, and I sit back, and I kind of think for a moment about what led me to this place. And I remember it was like 8 years back when I was a lot younger. I was just barely into my teenage years, and I was sent on a errand by Gadron to pick up a box from a merchant's house, a small box. I was told that the door would be open for me, and that I was to go get it and bring it back to him. And when I got there, I picked up the little box that was on the table, and as I was turning, the merchant came out with the city guard and said that he had been informed that I was going to be coming to steal the item that was in this box. And I told him I was innocent, that I was sent here, that I was told that I was supposed to pick it up to take it to a man named Gadron. And at any rate, they summoned Gadron to see if what I was saying was true, and Gadron denied ever knowing me. So I was hauled off to prison, where I was beaten severely for weeks, just for pure amusement. And that is where I stayed for 8 years. And every day I thought about the revenge I would extract, and I could only come up with, this man had to die. And that is why I'm here today.
And if it was unclear from Drossel's character depiction, his luminescent green eyes have no pupils. They're all green and they're all iridescent. If you can't tell, with his grayish hands he was shaking, he is playing a fetchling. First time we've had that on the show, or at the table. All right. So next, walking into the room, you see Magnolia. Trish, go ahead and describe your character and your reminiscence on what Gadrin has done to you. You also see 3 others seated around a table. There's a shadowy figure drinking some wine. Everyone else is sitting there, but there's bread and wine on the table, and no one's drinking or eating it. Go ahead.
I'm Magnolia, and I'm 5'7". I'm a cleric of Erastil. I have red hair and green eyes, and I see my plan to come late. It's worked out really well because I was worried it was a trap, and y'all are still sitting there, so that's great. Gadrin's already got me once when I was a kid. I found this really cool holy symbol of Erastil, and he beat the ever-loving tar out of me, and it just made me want to be a cleric of Erastil even more, so...
Gadrin comes up and he like grabs your hand. He's like, everyone has had something with Gadrin is taken away. Very brave of you to tell us all your story.
Kaylin comes up, not Gadrin.
Yes, Kaylin. Kaylin Varn comes up and he shakes her hand and says, my dear lady, we're going to get that Gadrin for his crimes. Trust me this. And you're so honorable. It's so honorable for coming forward and telling your story to all these strangers.
Well, anytime I can spread the love of Erastil, I'll take that chance.
My name is Magnolia, and I've got 101 days without being beaten by Gadrin. As you're introducing the room, do you decide to eat the bread and drink the wine, or no?
No. I drink wine and eat bread at my temple, not at a random house.
Fair enough, fair enough. All right. So...
I would like to look around the room just to see.
This dark one seems to be okay. How's the wine there?
Oh, maybe
you get your name, by the way. Drossel, right?
Drossel.
How's the wine?
The wine is fantastic.
It does. It's not a extremely expensive vintage, but it is like a good mid-level bottle, and it tastes really well. As you guys are sipping the wine, however, Zalara comes in, and I've sent those of you, I've sent you guys a picture, but for the audience back home, she's a good-looking older lady. She's got nice silky hair. She sachets into the room, and she says, "Thank you for coming, my friends, and for putting up with my unconventional method of contacting you. I have a reason to remain hidden, you see. A vicious man that I think you're acquainted with would see great harm done to me if he knew I was reaching out for help. This man has done something terrible to each of you as well. I speak, of course, of Gadrin Lamb, a man whose cruelty and capacity to destroy the lives of those he touches are matched only by his gift for avoiding reprisal. You see, a year ago, this thief stole my hero deck." And as she says it, she fans the cards from one hand to the other. "It's important to me, an heirloom passed down through a dozen generations, and also my sole means of support. When Lamb's pickpockets stole it, my son Aaron tracked him down and returned my deck to me, but Gadrin had him followed, and soon after he left my home, Gadrin's thugs murdered him. I sought help, of course, from the Korvosan Guard, but they turned me away. They didn't have time. And so, I've asked around, I've paid bribes, I've consulted my hero deck for advice, and recently I was rewarded. I found out where Gadrin dwells. He can be found in an old fishery, north of here, at West Pier 17, where he trains abducted children to be pickpockets and counts his stolen treasures. But alas, I need your help. I cannot hope to face this man on my own. And the guard moves so slowly that even if they were willing to help, Gadrin would certainly know of their coming well in advance with his network of pickpockets. And even if they arrested him, what guarantee would I have that he would even be punished? This criminal has evaded the law for decades. But you know of these frustrations as well. For the word on the street is that Gadrin has wronged each of you. So there we are. It is time for him to pay. What say you?"
My dear lady, how did you find each of us? And the bureaucracy and the bureaucrats are so corrupt in the city. Not surprising he hasn't been brought to justice yet.
Well, I used my hero deck, and I called out, and I looked for those who had been most wronged by Gadrin, who had loyalty and honesty, and most of all, anger at Gadrin, and I sought them out. And the three of you I sought out. But you, Kalen, I thought another was coming. You were next on my list, however. It seems my card went awry, but you will do. In my visions I saw another. Interesting. Speaking of which,
That's quite strange, but I did get your letter nonetheless.
yes, and you're willing, and that's what matters. So now we are four. Let me read the four of you a harrowing before you head out to take down Gadrin. And she whips her cards. The way she shuffles, you guys can see it's almost magic. It flows from hand to hand, and she starts laying these cards down. She lays down 9 cards, spreads them out, and then she brings them up in threes. The past, the present, and the future. And I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on the harrowing, mainly because I misplaced my tarot deck, but the first card is all about your past, and cards come up. And it's all about your past and how Gadrian has wronged all of you, but it's kind of led you to this point. The present. Cards come up that talk about reprisal and revenge, but also cards of speed. And as she's interpreting the read, she's like, yes, it's as I was saying, Gadrian is never in one place for too long. If the authorities start to suspect him, he'll be gone for sure. And the future. Always muddled, but it's strange. The riot card comes up. She's not sure how to interpret that one. Possible riots in your future. The king and queen of show up, and she's like, "Oh yes, there has been a lot of gossip of the king and queen. That's pretty common." Edrin he was with a lot of women in his younger days, but he never sired an heir. But now he's got this young queen, Elodrin, with him. So maybe we'll finally get one. And that's what that card could signify. Oh. Interesting. The espionage card. Maybe in your future there will be a need for secrecy. She says, I will leave it to you to plan how to take our revenge on Gadrin. Just, he has one of my tarot decks still. If you find it amongst his things, please bring it back to me.
Besides his location, is there anything else you can tell us about how he's fortificated there? What defenses he might have?
Nothing you probably don't always know. He's staying in an old fishing hut. The owners have died without leaving a will. So as you know, in the city of Korvosa, it sits in probate for 2 years. So he's squatting on the residence, maintaining a business facade for all who show up. And he's living underneath, from what I can gather.
Okay.
He's got all the children. Spreads them out. Nice day they work. You have dealings with the living.
Yeah, the kids never get a break.
It's your
couldn't
choice.
tell hold on. I couldn't tell what you said. It came through really muddled.
The kids never get a break.
I was talking about what Dad said. Like the whole sentence before that came in muddled.
What's the last thing you heard clearly?
He's in the downstairs of the fishery, or under
Yes,
it.
he's in the downstairs of the fishery. You can decide whether to come at him in the day or the night. In the day, it could attract the Korvosan guards or more of his criminals to you. But if you have the skills, it's possible you can sneak in and not attract attention in the daylight. Or you could choose to go by night. Less chance of a patrol, especially in this quarter. But not all can operate in the night. I don't know what your capabilities are. And for the listening audience, let me know if you have dark vision.
I do not, if I'm human.
You do not, because you are human.
I have dark vision and low light vision.
Okay?
I have dark vision.
Magnolia has dark vision. And Kalen Varn has low light vision. Good, good. Okay, what do you? So you guys can go ahead and plan out.
Test.
That's you. I can hear you. Ergo.
Okay, good.
So she sketches the exterior of the hut he's staying at for you guys, and you guys can go ahead and make your plans. Decide to either go during the daylight or go at nighttime. What's your plans, guys?
I believe
I think tonight we should go.
that may be an idea, but I don't have any way of really seeing around.
But that's at dusk, right before the sun goes down would be the best time to strike. Most people don't see so well in that dusky light. For me, I'd be part of the planning, but I have an associate that'll handle this type of business. I don't like to get my hands dirty.
Interesting.
The
Well,
at dusk may not be a bad idea. I'll still have a bit of the light so we can get inside, and then from there it might be easier to sneak around.
Do any of you see well in the dark?
I do.
I see very well in the dark.
Yes.
I think that will be best. Better not to run to the guard at night. They're quick to protect criminals in the city.
So the three of you show up at dusk, and you're overlooking this fishery at the spot where Kalen has told you you're going to meet his man who's supposed to handle this type of thing. Aragon, tell them what they see when this guy approaches.
You see a tall black figure that stands just inside the shadows, still, posed, and unsettling quiet. His bullpine face is long and angular, framed by a stark contrast of crimson markings that stretch beneath his glowing red eyes. He just nods at you. There is a tension in his posture, like a coiled trap ready to spring, but never makes the first move.
And I don't know if you can tell by his description, but he is a foxfolk.
Very interesting.
That's what they're called, right? Something like that.
Kitsune,
What?
but yes, foxfolk or kitsune.
Oh, Kitsu. My bad.
Are you the ones that Kalen said would be here?
Yes.
So you're his associate then, and you see my hand kind of migrate down to where my palm's kind of on the back of my pommel.
Yes.
What-
I know
what
of
is your
him.
name, sir?
You can call me Crimson.
Interesting.
All right, so I shared the map with you, but for our audience, you see a decrepit building. It's long. It's got some attached docks. Excuse me. A slippery boardwalk clings to the side of the fishery, held together by barnacle-encrusted pilings that had half of their thickness worn away below the water line, 12 feet below. So it's just some, if everybody's been around a wharf before and you've seen like these structures that have been up for 20, 30 years in the salt and in the sunshine, and they're just sagging and thin, and that's what the back alley boardwalk looks like, and that's the one closest to your characters. I'll ping the map for you guys there. That's the boardwalk I'm talking about. The other side, you see a loading dock. It's a 15-foot wide loading dock abuts the side of this building here. A few carts sit nearby, partially loaded with large tar-caked barrels marked with fish-shaped splotch of red paint on the side. Double doors to the immediate south of the loading dock's ramp provide access to the building's interior, where a rickety flight of stairs descends 10 feet to a point just 3 feet over the river's surface, where a simple door provides a secondary entrance. So everybody see that on the other side of the map, these stairs descend down, and that's a single door, and then this is like a loading dock door, if that makes sense to everyone.
Yes.
You also see there's a rickety ship. The rotten deck of an ancient sailing ship seems to be barely intact. Its hull is worn and thick with seaweed and barnacles. The ship looks like it's held primarily together by layers of old rope and by being securely lashed to the piling that support the fishery and nearby boardwalk. You're not sure if it was detached from those, if they would even float still. You see, so the deck on the side of the building doesn't go to that. That dock juts out from under, but if you look under the initial railing, you can see a narrow space under the fishery with about 3 feet of room between the floor of the eastern side of the building and the languid, foamy river water below. Wooden pilings support the building, and thick mats of moss and cobwebs hang from ropes and rusted chains between them. A wooden walkway floats on the river's surface, winding along the inner wall of pilings that support the building's wooden frame above. The walkway leads from a sodden ship to the east all the way to the west to a small 2.5-foot square door that leads into an understructure below. What do you guys do?
I don't know if I missed it. How far off the water is the bottom boards?
Okay, so if you're looking at the map here, this side is where you're at. This side, this piling is 10 feet below that structure. So literally this is directly below the building over here. But if you're standing back here where you are, right, or walking along this pier, you can glance underneath and you can see that under this building, the building kind of concaves. There's a smaller structure underneath that's supported by pilings, and there's that underdock that goes to that boat.
Yeah, I was asking how far from the water is it to that underdock?
From the underdock here,
Yes.
so it's a floating dock. So it's like 6 inches above the water. I mean, you literally just like the side of a pool, get to it, pull yourself up. That was your plan. And the pier here is 10 feet above the water. So yeah, I mean, that's if you wanted to, you could step off the pier, fall into the water, and swim over to that. You guys want to discuss what your point of entry is going to be?
I remember she mentioned that he seemed to be below or under the fishery. I think this might be our best way in to catch him before he can make an escape.
Yeah, Zalara said he'd be downstairs.
Well, just so you guys know, remember this stairway also went down. So the upper floor here is like the loading dock, and then the downstairs on this side you can see a normal door. So you don't know if she meant this downstairs or down underneath the thing.
I'm coming back. I'm coming back into the game. I was taken out.
I see you. Just
Crimson looks.
Click on your character to get the map back, Gary. All right,
Yeah.
Crimson, with the perception check, you don't see anything but what you already saw. Everything I've described already.
The direct route is best. We go to the underdock.
You don't see anything in addition, Magnolia?
Okay. If no one has any objections, I think our best idea would be to swim or wade out to that the floating dock and pull ourselves up onto it.
I don't love the idea of swimming, but I'll try.
Crimson tries to slip into some shadows. I'm not sure which direction you're trying to go, Crimson. You guys can all see him because you saw where he started from. But you figured he would be hard to see otherwise. As someone who didn't know he was there. And that's just, remember the game mechanic, like they get a plus 20 if they can see you when you try. So your party, even if you got a good roll, can see you, but...
Usually.
Well, typically. That means he rolled below a 20 for sure, because I'm letting you guys see him automatically.
I would like to walk down to the shoreline-ish. And just kind of, like, I'm going to kind of dip in from the edge to try and see how deep it is.
Okay.
I'm gonna watch you from right here.
You know that it's a steep-sided thing, so as soon as you step in, it's going to be 10 feet.
Okay.
So if you want to get in the water, make me a swim check. Drosso, do you have the map again, Carrie, or no?
Right now, it's flashing in and out. Fantasy Grounds not responding.
I'm going to decrease the size. I'm going to send it to you again. We'll see what happens here. If not, I guess we can theater the mind like the old days for a minute.
Yeah.
I'm going to move you up next to Magnolia. All right, so if you're getting in the water, Steve.
Yep.
You splash in.
Gonna attempt to swim.
All right,
Terribly.
You guys see swim, yeah. You guys see Steve, slide into the water, and he immediately like, whoop, and he's under there. And you guys are like, I thought he was gonna swim out to the pier. It doesn't seem like he surfaced even. What's your con? How long do we?
I got a +2.
All right, so Steve goes underneath the water, and you know what? Let's everybody roll initiative, because let's do this in initiative order in case he decides to drown.
Good.
For the listening audience, his first swim check was a -1 critical miss. He slides underneath there, and sometimes when you get in the pool and he ends up upside down in the silty water, and he really couldn't tell which way was up, so he's just floundering around. All right, so we go to the top of the order. Crimson, you see him slide below the surface and not come back up. What are you doing?
Crimson's gonna try to jump down to the lower dock.
You're gonna jump down what?
Jump from here to that lower dock area.
Okay, that's gonna be a pretty good acrobatics check. I like it. Go ahead and make me that acrobatics. All right, so Crimson got a pretty good roll. He leaps from the boardwalk he's currently on, sails 10 feet, and lands perfectly on this decrepit old dock where he shatters through the boards. Roll me a reflex save to avoid damage. All right, with a loud and thunderous crash. Oh, Crimson takes 5 damage as splintered boards rip into his flesh, and he splashes into the water. Crimson, if you want, as a free action, go ahead and make me a perception check. Oh, that's pretty good, buddy. With his 20, he sees a jigsaw shark swimming hungrily at him. At first, it was swimming toward Steve, who was floundering. But seeing Crimson much closer, it's now coming in his direction.
This is not good.
All right. So, Crimson, you splash into the water over here. The shark is going to swim underneath and try to attack you. You see, they kind of look like bull sharks, but they have these large signs on their back that kind of look like jigsaws. All right, the shark misses as it swims by Crimson. Drossel.
All right, let's see here. I am going to. I gotta get up there by him here. Where did Crimson go?
So look at the map to your right, Carrie. So basically, the map to your right is underneath the map to your left. He jumped from the pier you're standing on near the end of it, and he tried to get that under railing underneath the house, which he successfully did, but it's so old and decrepit it shattered when he landed on it, and he plunged into the water. And you see him thrashing in the water as the shark is trying to eat him.
All right. I get to where he was, where I can be over him, and I get ready to lower a rope down to him.
All right, you're going to have to throw it to him, not necessarily lower it.
Or throw it to him. I got 50 feet.
Good. So you run out there, and then you movement action to run out there, movement action to pull a rope out of your pack, and that's your turn for now.
Yep.
All right, Steve, what are you doing?
I'm going to attempt to right myself and bob up and down in the water.
Okay.
See if I can figure out where I am.
So first movement action, you can't figure out which way is up and down. This goes out to the sea, so the water's flowing fairly fast. Right now, it's just tumbling you, and all the silt and everything else. Plus, of course, this place makes a fish slurry, so there's all kinds of blood and everything in here. So it's not surprising there's sharks waiting right here for scraps. That's your first roll. Do you want to try another movement and swim again?
Yeah, I'm gonna try and get a bearing.
Okay, Steve manages to get his bearings. He doesn't break the surface, but he figures out which way is up. Magnolia, what are you doing?
Am I able to see the shark?
From where you are, if you kind of duck down so you can see under that building, yes.
I'm gonna try to shoot an arrow at it.
Okay. The holy weapon of Erastil.
Well, at least I didn't shoot Crimson.
And your arrow splashes the water next to Crimson.
That's important.
All right. The jigsaw shark tries again to bite Crimson. It swims by and it's like, "Rawr!" Oh, it hits.
No. Oh,
And you all see Crimson go unconscious in its mouth. It takes a big old bite out of him.
we're gonna get TPK'd by a shark.
TPK in the first encounter. Drossel.
Crimson, you're having a bad day so far, Crimson.
You saw Crimson just get bit. He's currently in the mouth of this shark, and he's just flopped over its head. He looks like he's unconscious. Thankfully, he didn't have any weapons on because he had nothing to drop in the water when he goes unconscious. What are you doing, Drossel? You're sitting there with a rope in your hands.
Okay, so let's see here. I am.
Too bad you didn't ram a hook through Crimson there. You could have reeled him in with a shark.
Oh, I got a grappling hook. I'm hook it to the rope,
Uh,
and I'm a grapple Crimson.
all right. Make me a ranged touch attack.
All right, just a second here.
So just roll your range, and we'll see if it hits Crimson's touch armor class. Well, actually, you're unconscious touch armor class, so much lower. That's good enough. So your grappling hook sinks into the flesh of Crimson, dealing him 1 additional damage.
All right,
Make me a strength. I'll oppose with the shark to pull him out of the shark's grip.
do a what?
Make me a strength check to see if you can pull it out of the shark's mouth.
Gotcha.
You do. You rip him free of the shark, and now you're trying to pull him in before he dies. All right. Steve.
I'm gonna try and break the surface.
God, and Steve, you're swimming as hard as you can, but the current is just buffeting you around, and it's actually bopping you into the mainland, and you're further away from the structure, so you're not actually on the second map, but that's how far you are away you from the first map. Do you want to try again?
Yeah, I'm just trying to swim to land at this point.
Yeah, you went through some of the water that looked like blood. Alright, so for the listening audience, Steve rolled a 7 on his first attempt and a 0 on his second attempt. He is underwater, getting washed down toward the ocean, and his party doesn't know where he is. Just for a quick recap, Crimson is unconscious with a shark bite in him. Drossel has thrown a grappling hook, which snatched into him. He's wrenching him up to the surface. Let's see what Magnolia is going to do.
I would like to try to find a way to channel without getting the shark.
Well, the shark isn't injured, so it wouldn't hurt if you got the shark.
I don't care. It's the principle of the
Okay.
at this point. I would just like it.
Okay.
To not give. I don't want Erastel's love anywhere near that shark.
Okay. So she channels out Erastel's holy power. Oh, the sound of your goddess. Oh, you know we forgot, Aragon, when the shark bit your guy. All right.
That's true. That's true.
With that healing, Crimson, you are barely conscious, which is great because the jigsaw shark is going to try to latch back onto you. Oh, that fresh blood. And he grabs you. For another 6. I'm going to see if he can pull Carrie in here. Make me that opposed strength check, Carrie.
All right.
You slide forward, and your feet dangle off the edge, and you have a piling like in your stomach. It's the only thing that kept you from going into the water. Crimson's back unconscious. Oh, and stable.
Still stable.
All right, Drossel. Make me
All
that
right.
opposed strength check to see if you can wrench him from the shark again.
Strength check, you said?
Yep. And you fail.
Oof.
You're pulling with all you got, but you're reeling in the shark and him.
Dummy.
Steve.
I holler back. Quick. I got both of them on.
To shore, to shore.
All right. You managed to get above the water, but you don't manage to swim any closer. You barely manage to stay in the spot you are. But you do get a breath of air, so your constitution restarts for where you start drowning. Do you want to roll me another check to try to get closer to land?
Yeah, let's see if I can get anywhere near this. Fuck, another 0.
And Steve comes up and he's like, and he gets a big breath of air, and then a floating log comes by and pushes his head back underwater. And you guys don't see Steve surfacing in this round. Magnolia, what are you doing?
I'm gonna channel again.
All right, Magnolia channels the power of her god, seeing Crimson go unconscious.
Erastel, I need your help so bad. I just met these people and they are utter chaos. Speaking of.
All right, so top of the order is the Jigsaw Shark. Oh, let's see. So you're pulling at that guy. Go ahead and make me that opposed strength check, Carrie.
Gotcha.
Okay. So you managed to pull him up to the docks, and you're pulling him away from the shark. I'm going to roll a 50-50. If I get under 50, he's going to go for all the thrashing in the water that is Steve. If I go over 50, he's going to go for the blood trail that is Crimson. 31. So the jigsaw shark leaves Crimson because he's getting pulled out of his mouth every time, and he swims after Steve,
Oh no.
who's getting blown down water, down river. Oh God, poor Steve. You see a red mist come up about 20 meters, or 20 feet rather, down river, and it's a bunch of bubbles clear the air too, as if maybe Steve was bit in the leg and screamed in pain. Crimson, what are you doing? You're at the docks.
What happened?
So you are at the base of these docks that are about 10 feet above you. You're holding onto the edge of a rope. A grappling hook is stuck into your chest. What are you doing?
Oh, I climb back up.
All right, roll me that climb check.
I'm using the rope to climb.
Okay? Roll me that sweet, sweet climb check. Oh, easily. Even in his waterlogged gear, you know, he sets his feet on the pilings. They've proved to be slippery and covered with algae, so he ignores them and grabs the rope. He easily catches it with his feet, uses his hands to pull himself up, and he gets to the dock right there beside you, Drossel. However, you notice he can only do that one movement, and then he collapses on the dock, exhausted and hurt. Drossel, what are you doing?
All right. I tell Crimson, I say, Crimson, just hold on for a bit. I gotta turn around and get my attention over to Steve. And I, as gently as I can, but as quickly, I pull that grappling hook out.
Okay.
Do it.
Roll me the heel
And,
check. Let's see how gentle you can be. Pulling this grapple out of his chest.
Which one? What check?
Heel check? You're trying to avoid damaging him.
Right.
Do it. I can take it.
Ooh.
Can I assist at that?
He just did it.
Oh,
You know, He didn't
okay.
wait for your assisting.
Okay.
All right, you take an additional 2 damage as he wrenches this thing out of your chest, Crimson, and you guys see Crimson go back unconscious. He's like, "Do it!" He wrenches it out, and Crimson's out. All right, drop.
You see a smile on You see a smile on Crimson's face.
His little fox face. It's kind of like, you know, the vet puts your dog out so they can do a surgery. I don't know if it's a smile so much as his lips fell back on his canines. You've pulled your grapple out, Drossel. What are you doing?
Okay, so I'm gonna make a movement to get down here.
Okay.
And he is what, 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 feet out.
So we're.
Can I see?
I'm just kind of using the map for theater. We said he was 20 feet away.
Okay, 20 feet away. Is the shark above water or surfaced, or is he below water?
They are both below water.
All right. I am gonna cast out that grappling hook and try to, in the direction that he was.
All right. Give me a range touch attack, and then we'll do a 50% miss chance.
All right.
You're going to throw it where you saw the blood and the bubbles surface.
Gotcha. Let's see here. Range touch.
All right. So you fling this thing. Matter of fact, go ahead and roll me some percentiles, Carrie. For the listening audience, Carrie has just rolled a automatic 1 critical miss.
All right. Let's see here. Where is that? Oh,
Let's see how bad the critical miss is. 91. All right, you're spinning this grapple, and you're going to get him just like you got Drossel. You go to release, but you release a second too early. The grappling hook hits the pylons, bounces off, hits you right in the nuts, and you just fall to your knees, and you are completely nauseated, just puking into the river, 4. Oh, you got lucky. 1 round. You know, you just get hit in the nuts hard. You know that feeling in the pit of your stomach, and you're just into the river. All right, Steve, what are you doing?
With this,
You have a shark attached to your leg, by the way.
the shark attacking me, I'm gonna pull out my long.
Actually, sorry, I didn't roll to grapple you. That's flavor.
Yeah.
It came by and bit you and kept swimming. So
I'm gonna pull out my longsword and try and stab at this thing.
all right, underwater though, you take a -2 penalty.
Yeah.
For slashing weapons.
Is that just the thing currently in the tracker?
The jigsaw shark? Yes.
Yeah, okay. Let's hope this goes better than my swimming attempts. Not much. Not much.
All right, guys, and if you don't know the rules of Pathfinder, every time he uses a standard action like that, it takes away 2 rounds of breath holding, basically. So, okay, well, you have failed to hit the shark. Do you want to try to make a swim check to break the surface and possibly get closer to your friends?
Yeah, we're gonna try and do that. Indeterminate effect. None.
All right, you pretty much stay where you are. Now you've got a longsword in your hand, so it's even harder to swim. Magnolia.
I'm gonna go over to Crimson and try to figure out what the hell happened with the hook. And I'm gonna cast Cure Light Wounds.
Okay.
Oof. That was a good one.
All right, so she casts some healing on you. And as her god,
What's the situation?
as her god of Erastil's power kind of fades away, you see the wound that was opened by the grappling hook close all the way up, and part of the shark bite close up, and Crimson opens his eyes.
What's the situation?
Well, new friend, Chaos. A shark is eating Steve, and you got hooked kind of hardcore.
Steve, you feel the shark. You pull your legs in at the last second. Your sixth sense goes off, or your Peter Tingle maybe. You pull your legs in, and the shark kind of bumps you with a fin as it swims by and misses you. Crimson, it's your turn.
It's the Steve sense. Instead of the sixth sense, obviously.
Gotcha, the Steve sense. I like it.
Crimson comes up closer. And,
If you'd like to target the shark in the murky, bloody water, I need a perception check. Oh, shit. But Crimson is fucking locked on target. He knows exactly where the shark is. I'm not even going to give you a mischance, buddy. For the listening audience, he just got a twin. Wow.
Nice.
Is the shark aware of me?
I'm going to say the shark is not. It is fully focused underwater on biting Steve. For all intents and purposes, I'll give it the flat-footed effect against you.
This is outside my 10-foot range increment. What's the negative for it?
So for every step, it's a -1 penalty, or -2 penalty.
Yeah, for
Which one is
every
it?
range increment, you're out past your current one, it's -2.
Okay, so you have a 10-foot range,
So
you're at 20 foot, so you're at -2. But you can see the shark, and I'm not giving you a negative to hit it for the percentage missed.
Nice.
He aims his dagger just delicately and fires.
Dagger sinks deep into the shark. Everybody sees it pierce the water, and blood spouts out and flows all around Steve, making it much more difficult to see him and the shark. You guys are very impressed at how much damage he did to this thing. For the listening audience, he has an ability, so he added a D8 because the shark was flat-footed against him. But you guys are just surprised at how much damage he was able to do with a dagger, and you also didn't see where the dagger came from. Drossel, what are you doing?
All right. I am.
Vomiting question mark?
I'm gonna do a perception check to see if I can
never
see
mind.
him.
Drossel, we all know what you're doing. You're puking into the river. Sorry.
Oh, that's right.
At the end of this round, your balls settle back down in your sack there, and your stomach stops. You spit your last time. And next turn you can act normally. Oh, you know what we forgot? Caveat to our introduction: I am former military, and there will be cursing on the show. There may be adult themes. I think in the show there's a couple whorehouses or strip clubs or whatever. So there could, there could be adult themes throughout the show. Nothing crazy, but there will definitely be some cussing. Steve, you're up.
The shark's right on me. I'm going to attempt to stab it again.
Okay. And you're within 5 feet, so you don't have a mischance?
Yeah, I still have to take the negative for stabbing through water, though, right?
Correct.
Okay.
All right, you miss.
And I surface.
You attempt to surface. You do surface. You get a breath of air. Everybody can see Steve's head. He pops up above the bloody water, and his hair is like matted to his head with the bloody water. So it's like running rivulets down his head. And he's, you can tell he hasn't been up in some time. Oh, and for the listening audience, those of you who don't know, for some reason, most people love me as a GM because I tend to roll terribly at the dice. So far tonight, I've been rolling pretty good. But for whatever reason, I tend to kill my son Dave, who is playing Steve, a lot. I can't hit anybody else, but I will typically hit Dave a lot.
I'm going to position myself to where I can channel everybody but the shark.
Okay?
Hopefully that will keep Steve alive to the next.
All right, she channels the power of Erastil out. And you see some of these wounds close up. Crimson now looks completely healthy. The jigsaw shark, although injured, tries to take another bite out of Steve. Oof. Oh, max damage. Ripping a huge chunk of Steve's ass off. 9 damage.
Oh my god! Get it off me!
After that hit, the shark is aware of you.
Crimson looks into the water and sees if he can spot the shark again.
God, it's going to be hard. The shark, there's so much blood. But it doesn't matter. Crimson perfectly sees the shark. Not as perfect as last time. There is going to be a 20% mischance because of you skewering blood and guts in the water. All right. He throws his dagger. Roll me those percentiles, please, Aragon. All right. Go ahead and target your buddy there and roll some damage. Hold on. But he wasn't aware of you, so does he get the sneak attack? No, Steve's head is above water. He sees you.
So you roll that terribly.
All right, so the shark rips off a piece of your ass, and your head's above water. You all hear Steve scream like, "Oh!" And then a dagger plunges itself into his shoulder.
Ah!
Oh, sorry. It's Drossel's turn.
All right. I get up and I pull out my light crossbow
Okay?
and I am going to target the shark.
Roll me a
And
perception check to see if you can see that sucker.
gotcha. Perception.
5 feet under the water, literally biting Steve's ass. You can't see the shark.
Damn.
Drossel's looking in the water, and he's looking at Crimson, because Crimson hit last time, and he thinks about asking him where it was. But then he sees that this time Crimson just threw a dagger into Steve, so maybe he's not the best person to ask. Do you want to hold your turn in case you end up seeing it?
Yeah.
Okay. Steve, what are you doing?
I'm gonna keep trying to stab the shark to get it to stop eating me.
All right.
Get off me, beastie!
Hit! He plunges it down as the shark's trying to take off with literally half of his ass. Oh! And he kills the jigsaw shark, and its body floats down.
Okay. Now let's see if I can survive long enough to make it ashore.
Roll me that sweet, sweet swim check.
No!
All right, and you see Steve plunge back underwater. Drossel, you had a held action. You see the shark die. Steve sees Steve's head like bloop, back into the water. Did you want to do anything?
Yes. I drop the crossbow and I take the grappling hook and
Okay.
I throw it at him.
All right, make me that range touch attack. Let's see if you can
Gotcha.
hit him in the face.
All right. Let's see. Ranged.
And technically, you can't see Steve, so you're just throwing at the square he went under, right?
Yep.
All right. That's good enough to hit a square. All right, the grappling hook plunges into the square there. Steve, make me a perception check. Let's see as you're tumbling around drowning if you see this grappling hook floating by you. Steve rolled a 4. He does not see it. Magnolia, it's your turn.
Well,
There's so much blood in the water.
I don't have a rope or anything.
You saw that Steve was in really rough shape.
I rolled above a 10
I'll throw out a channel
twice.
that hopefully he's in the circle of Erastil.
All right, so you say Magnolia move up, and she channels, oh, and he was within that circle, so he gets some healing. Crimson, are you doing anything?
I'm gonna see if I can see where he's at. Maybe we can thing better.
Oh, you can easily see where he's at. You want to throw another knife at him?
He's right there. Drossel, look.
I guess he's
All
trying out to your god, Magnolia. He's like aroused to look. He's right there.
No, he said Drossel. Drossel.
Drossel.
Drossel, look. That's where he's at.
He said Erastil could
Well,
take him.
so you can see, Crimson, Drossel's grappling hook is floating. It's like sinking right past Steve. And Steve is like looking up, like trying to, and all the blood from his missing ass is clouding the water. And the rope is sinking right in front of him.
It's in front of you, you moron!
All right, what are you doing, Drossel? You just letting wait until you feel weight to pull?
Yeah, is it in front of him or behind him? Because can I start pulling in to try and snag him?
So Crimson said it was right in front of him.
Oh, in front of him. All right. I start pulling a little bit to see if
you pull it away from him. He's gonna have to swim to it then. He hasn't been doing great at swimming.
I will leave it. I'll let it stay there for right now and see if he can get to it.
All right, Steve, you want to roll me a perception or swim check?
Yeah, let's try and get to the surface.
All right, you flounder around and you actually sink lower. You're getting pulled out more. Steve rolled a 3 on his swim check.
Maybe now
Show me a perception check.
Perception.
Right.
Why was your plan to get in the water, Steve? He still can't see the fucking rope. Do you want to roll me another swim check?
Yeah. Because my character's never seen water. It's like, how hard can swimming be?
All right, so you swim up and you break the surface. And you're like, oh, and you see the rope is like 5 feet away from you. You manage to get there with your 17 on this swim check, and the rest of the party can slowly pull you in as you make a death grip on that rope. All right, as Steve is pulled wet, just dripping wet onto the thing. As you pull him in, you see like they ripped off his ass and the back part of his legs. You guys have all seen the shark attack things where it's like it just takes a big chunk out. And a lot of times on swimmers, they go for that meaty thigh and ass. It seems like this shark's bite was so large, it took almost all of his thigh and most of his ass. You're not surprised he was making, bad swim checks. He's got almost no muscle in his left leg. Magnolia, if you hadn't been healing him, he would have definitely died.
We good?
He's still
Magnolia. When you heal him, can you get the dagger back, please?
Yes.
There's a little dagger in my shoulder. Put there by
Sure, I'll
somebody.
pull that right out.
I glare at you.
Hold on, let me yoink.
Did you manage to pull the other one out of the shark?
You at the shark?
Oh.
Is he serious? Did he hit the shark?
Healing onto just him. The dagger, is like pushed up by the magic of Erastil and clatters to the surface. So you can reclaim that if you want. Steve, she healed your whole ass and leg, and now you just have some ugly wounds. Almost like you're not sure the scar is ever going to go away, but you just have the tiniest wound in your shoulder still where that dagger initially sunk in. I gotta say, guys, I've ran this quest a few times, and this is the roughest start I've ever seen any group have. And with that being we'll pause here. Until next time, guys, when the adventure continues.